and defensive efficiency. When you score over 51% of your goals, and then on the defensive end, locking people up to under 40%, that's solid for 40 minutes.
Adrian, you've mentioned it already, but this is historically a tough place to win. BYU has only lost here at home once so far this season, and under Coach Rose, they've only lost 18 times here in Provo, but Gonzaga's had 3 of those victories here at the Marriott Center.
And if they want to get number 4, they're going to have to earn it.
BYU in the whites, Zags in the road black with navy and white trim. And Adrian, already a tough blow for BYU. Star guard Nick Emery has the flu. Tonight is the first game he has not started all season. Elijah Bryant gets his first start of the year.
Believe it or not, that might be a blessing in disguise because it's not a deep team like the Zags, so you can get some scoring power coming off the bench for 15 minutes.
We do expect to see Emery in about half of the minutes he typically plays. He's a 30-minute per game player. Coach Rose says he's expecting to get 15 minutes out of him tonight. Here's Nigel Williams-Goss. Gets a friendly role, and Adrian, you think Williams-Goss and Eric Mika are battling maybe for Player of the Year in the conference?
Fair to say, because both of them have already been 3 times Player of the Week, and they do it differently. Mika leads the conference in points, rebounds, and blocks.
Yoli Childs, the big freshman, missing the turnaround. Gonzaga has not trailed in 224 straight minutes.
And with that 2-0, there you go. I was keeping an eye on who would score first.
11 straight halves that the Zags have not trailed. A remarkable feat as Mark Few, in his 18th season with the Zags, 480 wins, and looking for what he hopes to be his first trip to the Final Four.
Tough matchup. That is where Shimmick scores 2 feet from the basket.
Got his own rebound. Kick out in the corner. Perkins misses short. Eric Mika, he's averaging a double-double this season. He's
going to have to stay on the floor. That's a concern for Coach Rose, those turnovers, unforced errors. But for Mika, he's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's going to have to play over 35 minutes in this game. Coach Dave Rose, 11 straight 20-win seasons. He's looking for what would be his 300th career win as head coach here at BYU. We talked about that at shoot-around. He had a little smile saying, boy, that would be the moment to upset #1 in the nation and get his 300th victory. Karnowski, jump hook with the left is good. Shoots over 70%, and most of it comes from right there, 2 feet from the basket. A win tonight would make Shemek Karnowski the winningest all-time player in Gonzaga history. It's TJ Hawes still searching for BYU's first field goal. Williams, the big man, stretching out. Karnowski on the offensive glass, and a foul on the Cougars. That's Mika's first. Coach Mark Few was saying, let's keep an eye on that because both big men are key. Even though Karnowski plays only 22 minutes a game, they've got to keep him on the floor. Oh, let the big guys play. Let the big guys play. Karnowski had it stripped, stolen by L.J. Rose, the senior out of Houston. They work it inside to the freshman Childs, and BYU is on the board. You and I asked Eric Mika, who's a player to keep an eye on? And he said Yoli Childs. He said he's an athletic freak with his ability to finish around the basket. 6'8", 225, local kid out of South Jordan, Utah. Williams, the turnaround, one of the 3 big transfers for the Zags. He, Karnowski, and Zach Collins shoot over 60% from the field. That's how they're so efficient. They built their offense from the inside out and their defense from the inside out. Good shot. Mika's really been working on his face-up jumper game. He's averaging 21 points per game this season, as Adrian mentioned earlier, 3-time West Coast Conference Player of the Week so far. Physically, that's a tough matchup. That's a good double team. You got to come strong to it and try to deflect and break up the rhythm of Shemek down low. If BYU continues to double Shemek, what do you expect the adjustment is from Coach Few? Well, they'll be smiling from ear to ear because they'll take that opportunity to pass it out to the shooters, the three-point shooters, and Jordan Matthews, Nigel Williams-Goss, and Perkins. With the patience. You got 2 point guards out on the floor for the Zags. Good patience. Karnowski backing in, lost it momentarily. 7 on the shot clock.
Williams-Goss has to go with the left hand. Step back. Williams fighting for it, but L.J. Rose comes away with the defensive rebound.
Excellent defense by the Cougars, not allowing one shot.
Mika missing from 12 feet. Gonzaga now 1 for 5. Excuse me, BYU 1 for 5 from the floor. But Gonzaga only a 4-point lead here early, not able to convert. Swarming defense by Coach Rose's Cougars underneath.
Well, both teams want to settle in. You're getting ready to come up to the first 4-minute timeout. Mika has 1 foul on him, but while you're trying to let the game settle into you, you don't want to pick up cheap fouls.
Karnowski, the rejection. Pick and roll. Karnowski pops out and is short. Hawes wants to push it for the Cougars. Coach Rose urging him to go.
Transition defense is a priority for the Zags, just for that, because Hawes will try to create a mismatch or pass it out there to one of the three-point shooters.
Hawes fouled Perkins. Called with the whistle. It's a foul on the floor. So L.J. Rose to inbound underneath. Gonzaga starting the shooting 3 for 10. BYU just 1 for 6. There's Elijah Bryant, the sophomore, getting his first start of the season with Nick Emery sidelined with the flu. Emery not officially out for this game. We expect to see him at some point as Mika goes up and he is fouled. Eric Mika will go to the line. Shemek Karnowski called for the first personal and sends us to our first timeout. When we come back, what makes the Bulldogs #1? Adrian Branch is going to break it down for you. The Zags on back in Provo, Utah, and Adrian Branch. What makes Gonzaga the best team in the country right now?
Balance, offensive efficiency. You see that assist-to-turnover ratio is excellent. Defensively, second in the nation at contesting shots. There's a big wall. Shemek Karnowski, 71% in conference games, shooting it close to the basket. And Mark Few and Nigel Williams-Goss. Coach Few said Williams-Goss is the best leader he's ever had. Wow, I'm impressed.
Mark Few in his 18th season. Gonzaga on top 6-2 here early, but neither of these teams shooting particularly well. Gonzaga just 3 for 10 from the floor, including 0 for 3 from long range, and BYU just 1 of 7 from the floor. Eric Mika is at the free throw line. He played here as a freshman, spent 2 years on an LDS mission in Italy, and is now back for what is his sophomore year. He's improved his free throw shooting by 16% since he was a freshman.
He has a 1-2. He's a nice, strong structure, 6'10", 235 pounds. He said while he was serving his mission, he never used his legs, only played once a week. So now he's gotten back into game shape, and he looks the part. He's legit.
Had to drop 25 pounds to do it. Jordan Matthews, the transfer from Cal, Los Angeles native, checks in during the break, comes off the curl. And Silas Nelson buries the first three-pointer of the game.
Weaponry, weaponry. When you talk about a team that had this packed in the zone, but they were able to knock down a three-point shot, that's what makes Gonzaga so dangerous.
Yoli Childs on the floor after he lost the handoff. Nick Emery is in the game for BYU. He did not start with the flu, but he is back out there now. Short timeout, Gonzaga up by 6. This one in Provo, Utah, West Coast Conference battle. You see Nick Emery there. He's used to starting every game, playing 31 minutes a game. He's played 32 games straight with making a 3-point field goal. Tonight, Adrian, he didn't start. He has the flu. Coach Rose said, I hope to get 15 to 20 minutes out of him. That's a tough pill to swallow for BYU, who relies on him as their second leading scorer.
Yes, 13 points a game, gets to the free throw line as well. I think, again, it's a blessing in disguise.
Hawes off the inbound, his first bucket, averaging 14 points per game this season.
Looks like he needs a hamburger, but he keeps running, he keeps going, and they believe he's their best ball handler. Very creative and crafty.
Rail Finn at 170 pounds. Williams underneath, he stepped on the baseline, turnover on the Zags.
Look out for BYU to continue to move. Good catch and shoot, shooting with confidence. His brother Tyler, all-time leading scorer, shot a lot coming off of screens. He's more of a facilitator, a combo guard.
highest percentage three-point shooter on the team as well, just over 40% from distance.
Like I said, when you see him, he doesn't pass the eye test. Like, man, what's he doing out here with the big guys? But he has a good motor, has a good feel for the game. Coach Rose loves his intangible gifts right now. He's running the point guard for him.
Can do a little bit of both. Emery out there now lobbing it into Mika. Zach Collins, the freshman, guarding him. And Mika kicks it out to Elijah Bryant for the three.
The home team has settled in. They're into this game now. The crowd is amazing. And now the game is slowing down for them.
BYU 4 of 11 from the floor.
Good defense. They're not giving up first shot opportunities.
Matthews calling for it in the corner. Silences the crowd with the three.
How about the poise of Jordan Matthews on the road, hitting a dagger? Those are the kind of plays that you have to maintain to keep the lead and try to keep 20,000 fans quiet.
Mika in the free throw circle, lips out. Silas Melson running the point for the Zags. Nelson weaving, floating, tough shot. Mika the board. Emery kept it with his right hand, nearly lost it, bobbles out to Hawes. And Collins the rebound. And we have a whistle, and Eric Mika is injured behind the play. Trying to shake it off, not exactly sure what happened there.
Going for the ball, his body's, his teammate landed on him.
BYU Cougar fans holding their breath as Mika went down in a heap of pain and now will take a seat on the bench.
Yeah, Bryant landed on him, just like a lineman who's blocking, and the play rolls up on his back ankle. See if they can get him back quickly.
So Braden Shaw, the sophomore forward, will come in, and he'll have to deal with the big freshman Zach Collins underneath for Gonzaga.
Keep an eye on Gonzaga trying to get points in the paint. Now that Mika's out, one of their best shot blockers.
Nelson pick and pop. Good head fake by Williams. And he throws it down. Jonathan Williams.
Oh, the intensity, the lefty. No one talks about him. You and I talked about it coming to this game. He's one of the least talked about starters on this team.
Flies under the radar with Karnowski and Collins down there getting a lot of attention. Nelson airmailing that three-point attempt, and he will hear it from the 19,000 fans here at the Marriott Center.
Excellent catch, showing the pump fake, and then going up and finishing. Oh, my goodness, that's big time. Look at the ball fake. You make a veteran coach proud, and then the emotion. This game is emotional. On the road, keeping the lead, trying to keep the crowd out of it. That's big time. That's why he shoots over 60% in conference.
Williams, the transfer from Missouri, sat out last season, making a name for himself in the starting lineup for Coach Few. Bryant turns the corner. Light floater, good touch by Elijah Bryant. He has 5.
That's one of his strengths, his ability to finish inside the lane.
Mika quickly back in after coming out with that injury. Perkins, left alone, drains the three.
Eric, you're seeing the poise. You're seeing Gonzaga play through intensity, play through a frisky home team defense, and knock down big shots.
Mika got called for the travel, second turnover on the Cougars tonight. And that's one thing Coach Rose said, Adrian, we can't turn the ball over against this Gonzaga team.
Both teams don't have a margin of error as far as turning it over because they'll run out on you. Gonzaga likes to get the ball up in 3 seconds, so you have to guard them for 27 seconds. But the ability to hit clutch shots and keep the lead on the road was something special.
Saw Nick Emery go back to the bench after playing just 4 minutes. Again, dealing with that flu, did not start. Perkins again, same spot, same result.
Coach Rose is having to pick his poison right now. He's trying to build his defense from the inside out, not give up points in the paint. But Perkins is hitting tough three-point shots.
11-2 run continues as Mika misses the baby hook. Anderson inside against the tall trees, and a 3-second violation against the Zags.
The fourth scoring option for Gonzaga shows the ball. Oh, I love the ball fake. And then finishing emphatically. That's what you got to do against a team that wants to knock you off from being undefeated.
For BYU, nearly midway through the first half, and Adrian, Gonzaga led by 3 key transfers. We've already seen the impact of Williams and Williams-Goss so far in this one.
And it's amazing because all 3 do something different. Williams-Goss controls the game. Matthews is their 3-point shooter, and then Jonathan Williams has the toughest inside defenders that he takes on.
Gonzaga in the middle of an 11-2 run, as you see. Nigel Williams-Goss, a triple threat, averaging 15.6 rebounds, 5 assists, one of the best perimeter defenders for the Zags, and Jonathan Williams already a monster dunk in this one, as the Zags have quieted the crowd here in Provo. Eric Mika has missed his first 4 from the field. Gets a roll on that one, and BYU hopes that will get him going.
Yeah, we saw that he was 0 for 4, and I'm not disturbed by that because they're good shots, and they're going to continue to run to him.
Karnowski lowers the shoulder, no whistle. Mika hits the deck. Karnowski the touch.
What was the number of that tractor trailer? Got away with one. I thought that could have been his second foul.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Provo. Undefeated Gonzaga on the road. Steven Bayo into the game during that timeout for the Cougars. Bryant missing the 3-point attempt. Bryant got his first start of the season with Nick Emery struggling with his health, having to deal with the flu.
When you miss against Gonzaga, you've got to get back quickly. That was a good job getting back.
Karnowski double team. Extra pass. Perkins in the corner. Buries his 3rd triple.
The difference in this game right now is Gonzaga is knocking down their open 3-point shot. Now for BYU, they're still a good outside shooting team. They just have to slow down and knock down those opportunities that'll come. Now that's a non-call from a 300-pounder. Mika, if they're not going to call it, don't do it again. Meet him at the rim. And then playing through the extra pass, passing up a good shot for a great shot. Their ability to consistently hit outside shots is what's given them this 13-point lead.
Karnowski has gotten all the attention on the inside, so Perkins has got open for 3 threes on the outside.
Well, again, for Mark Few, they want to build their offense and defense from Shimmick Karnowski. They can play through him.
Perkins called for the foul on the perimeter. 2 fouls that I'm sure Coach Few, back-to-back, would like to take back.
Well, Coach Perkins is saying, I'm okay, let me play. But the concentration is there. And it's interesting also where you're seeing Kelly Olynyk was a player that they could play through in the post when he got it deep inside.
Mika missing the alley-oop. And it'll be a basket interference. Yoli Childs with the lob, and Mika just couldn't handle the pass.
Wow, did everything but finish. This was a thing of beauty. Well above the rim. And then just missed it.
Excuse me, it was Bryant on the pass. Beautiful pass by Bryant off the fingertips of Mika.
I don't think he'll get an easier shot tonight.
Killian Tilly is in the game for Gonzaga. His first action after missing the past 2 games with a high ankle sprain.
1-3-1, you see a 2-guard front. Gonzaga wants to keep it offensively in balance. Right there, driving the gap, looking for a driving kick.
5 on the shot clock. Too easy for the big man, Karnowski.
When you and I were at shoot-around, they spent most of their time going against a 1-3-1 zone.
Preparation key for Coach Few and the Zags. Karnowski now with 6 points. Mika swiped. Williams-Goss off to the races. Takes it himself, and a whistle will send Williams-Goss to the free throw line.
Starting with the defensive efficiency where we talked about, where they lead the conferences, they're one of the top in steals, 8 steals a game, doubling down on Mika and then getting out Williams Goss making the decision to keep it himself and get to the free throw line.
First trip to the free throw line tonight for Gonzaga as Williams Goss is a 87% free throw shooter. Corbin Kaufusi checks into the game for Eric Mika and BYU. Kaufusi spent the first half of the season playing for the BYU Cougars football team.
For his dad.
Yes.
He's the defensive line coach. Now, how big was he? 290 pounds.
He slimmed down quite a bit.
Coach Rose said we got him down to 260 right now.
His brother Bronson, a rookie for the Baltimore Ravens this season.
I'm just hearing somebody say to me, yeah, right. Why'd you say yeah, right? He's 260.
All muscle. Childs misses the turnaround. We'll go to the Zags.
BYU's got to slow down, make an extra pass because Gonzaga is very good at first shot defense. You're always your best on the first possession. See if you can move the ball to the second and third side to get up easy opportunities.
Gonzaga a little bit above their average, 55% from the floor shooting tonight. BYU just 28% shooting, and it's a 20-4 run at the moment for the Zags.
Well, for BYU, they're getting good shot opportunities. If I'm on the coaching staff, am I getting good shots? Yes. They just have to slow down, slow themselves down, and knock it down. They want to play well for this sellout crowd.
Bryant double teamed as he went inside, and that interior shot, that 2 to 5 foot shot, just hasn't been there for BYU. Good defense by the Zags.
Collapsing, committed to collapsing and challenging them at the rim.
And Gonzaga winning the battle of the boards 15-7 as well.
This is where Hawes is trying to be creative for Bryant, who drives well.
Evan Gwynn picked up the dribble. Under 9 minutes to play here in the first half.
Good shot. That's a good shot.
Bryant came up short. Elijah now 2 for 6 from the floor.
Missed it, but it was an open look, and it was in rhythm.
Arnowski draws the double, tried to skip pass, and it tipped off teammate Jordan Matthews' fingertips, out of bounds in favor of BYU.
Gonzaga shooting 55%, but BYU is making a concerted effort to challenge them. The defense has been there. They have just been the quality shot, especially in the corner, the three-point line.
We knew that turnovers were going to be an issue for both teams, a point of emphasis by both coaches. Gonzaga has 5 turnovers so far, BYU with 3, as Nick Emery back into the game now for the Cougs.
They're trying to get some offense going. It's been a 3-minute scoring drought, but they're still attached to this game because they're a 3-point shooting team.
Oh, tough shot on the baseline.
Remember Rip Hamilton?
Yep.
He wasn't that big, but he always was perpetual motion and hard to guard. When you move without the ball and can create your own shot, that makes it hard to guard.
TJ Hawes would need a face mask if he wants to be Rip Hamilton. Williams Goss looked like he twisted an ankle, turning the corner, and then an offensive foul on Williams underneath. Foul on Williams with 7:40 to play. Williams came off the curl from Williams Goss and pushed Haas to the ground. It's 29-14 Gonzaga. Well, thank you, Adnan. And Gonzaga on top by 15 on the road against BYU. We take a look at the WCC conference standings. Gonzaga all alone as they are in the entire country, undefeated. St. Mary's number 18 behind them. BYU not too far behind, but they've had some tough losses. They are looking for what would be a huge momentum builder heading into the final 10 games or so of the regular season.
Coach Dave Rose said this is the kind of league it is. Very competitive, well-coached team, excellent players. It's no days off. It's a good matchup. 2 veteran point guards. Rose versus Williams Goss.
Here's Hawes. Stopped, dragged the foot, and gets it inside to Yoli Childs. The freshman has 4 points.
Eric Mika says the offensive beast, catching the inside in traffic, shooting over 50% from the freshman. He's raw, but he's willing to be coached.
Williams, Euro step, got bumped, and he will go to the line.
Setting it up. Pause with a nice pass, and then the young beast going up in traffic. I don't think he knows his ceiling yet. Coach Rose talked about because the injury to Kyle Davis, they were going to redshirt him and just bring him along slowly. But he said, be careful what you ask for, and now here's Child's opportunity.
Williams has been very aggressive here tonight. Gonzaga up by 13. Saturday, we'll have an ACC, SEC college hoop double dip for you on ESPN. Number 20 Notre Dame and number 12 North Carolina tip off at 6 p.m. Eastern. Then it's 8th ranked Kentucky and number 24 Florida from Gainesville in our Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T. Williams misses both free throws. Under 7 minutes to play now in the first half. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you. A sold-out crowd of 19,000 at the Marriott Center in Provo, Utah.
5 best scorers on the floor. Hawes can get his shot right there at the three-point line. Coach Few said this team is amazing because they'll rise up in the middle of the shot clock and just launch a three-pointer. And Coach Rose lets his guys play. They have the freedom to take that shot.
Gonzaga more content with working the shot clock, swinging the ball from side to side. Matthews on the ISO. Good defense in the corner. Offensive rebound by Williams, and he gets fouled. How about the first half performance by Jonathan Williams?
He will not allow himself to be guarded. Collins right now is looking like a freshman, looks like a deer in headlights, but Jonathan Williams is answering the bell right now. 4 points and also has as many rebounds. Got to reward that effort and can't shoot a brick at the free throw line.
Williams this season just a 64% free throw shooter. After missing his last 2, gets that first one.
In traffic, battling. Now, Emery's been swiping everything. Emery should have really been called for a foul. He's just been throwing haymakers, swiping down at the ball.
As Yoli Childs, who's called for his first personal, and Williams hits both free throws. And Williams now with 6 points. 3 rebounds to go along with it.
Keep an eye on Emery right there. They'll post him up, even though he's 6'2".
Lefty fading away with 7 on the shot clock. Nice shot for a guy with the flu.
Well, he's got to make his possessions count because you don't have full strength.
Nelson circling the wagons, nowhere to go. Kick out Williams. Goss, another 3 for the Zags, and Gonzaga has made 6 of 10 from deep.
They're making it look easy, but it's everything but. They've just been knocking down timely shots against a feisty home team.
Childs got lost underneath, missed the reverse. Now Williams is the one drawing the double team.
They're trying to build their defense from the inside out, and when they do, that leaves open a shooter where Matthews knocks down a shot.
Williams Goss trying to go over Yoli Childs.
See if Mika can get a touch now. He's going against Collins. He's stronger right now in the upper body. This is where he should be able to get a high percentage shot.
Spin cycle, left hand finish, and one. Mika gets the crowd on their feet.
We called that coming down. You just have a sense of it coming. You've got to go to your strength. Now, it's a mismatch right now. Collins in this game, this is the first time I've really seen him look like a rookie. In strong, in traffic, too easy.
Why is Eric Mika such a tough matchup for not only this Gonzaga team, but any team that he's gone up against this season?
Well, one, he's a legit 6'10". He's got good hands, good feet, and he can go over both shoulders. He can score from both sides of the block. So you always want to develop a move and a counter move. He has that, a jump hook, up and under, and he's got soft hands. 6
points tonight on just 2 of 7 shooting. Missed his first 4 of the night. He's hit 2 of his last 3. Pick and roll, Williams traveled. Good idea, Williams just got too excited. There was nobody in front of him.
Again, this lead is not something I would be comfortable with Gonzaga because they play so hard and they can score quickly.
BYU quickly up the floor. Perkins with the swipe. Numbers for the Zags. Matthews, the reverse lay-in.
How about the veteran poise of Gonzaga on the road?
Short. Another quick possession by BYU as Mika saves it and Rose resets.
I go back to Eric Mika again. See if he can get a high percentage shot or pass it out to Hawes for the three-pointer. You got to take that. You got a little guy on you. Yo, Mika, you got to take Williams-Goss.
Thought about the 18-footer. Something he's been working on is extending his jump shooting range. 5 on the shot clock now for L.J. Rose. And Mika, another offensive rebound.
You got to go. Passing up shots. LJ's got to step in rhythm. He's passing up too many shots.
Gonzaga on top by 15. Under 4 minutes to go. It's their defense leading to their offense. Perkins, the steal. Up ahead, Williams, Goss to his teammate Matthews. Undefeated and looking strong. $15-point lead on the road. Gonzaga has not trailed for now nearly 12 halves of basketball. Our next NBA Friday doubleheader starts with an old school rivalry. It's Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics hosting the Lakers at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then when that one's over, we'll send you to Portland for the Mavericks and the Trailblazers. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew at 7. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. And talking about the Celtics, how about Celtics President of Basketball Operations, Danny Ainge, his jersey retired here in the rafters of the Marriott Center, the 1981 National Player of the Year. He's had a pretty successful basketball career, I would say.
Man, he was tough. He was in my era. Very tough combination guard, played with Dennis Johnson in Boston. We went against him for the championship.
Yep.
Well, I didn't play, but I was there. I had the best seat in the house. But he's doing an excellent job with Boston. They'll be in the playoffs this year.
You got the participation trophy. That's okay.
Hey, brother, you become what you hang around. I hung around some champs. Now I'm hanging around you, the X-Man, standing for excellence.
Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Eric Mika facing up Karnowski.
Yeah, go quick. Got to go quick. That up and under. Use the backboard. Good shot. You're missing it, but use that glass. Let that glass be a friend to you.
But are you noticing that Karnowski's not letting Mika get too deep underneath?
Well, he'll push you out. That's his strength, but he doesn't have the foot speed to contest. Mika's got to move that mountain.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Provo, Utah, West Coast Conference battle. The 1 and 3 teams in the conference. 5 on the shot clock for Nigel Williams-Goss. Tripped and fell. 2 to shoot for Matthews. He doesn't know it. And it's a shot clock violation. Adrian, though, it's the second time tonight Nigel Williams-Goss has rolled an ankle, and now he's limping down the floor.
Well, they're physical. They'll touch you. They'll bump you. They'll bring the force. They'll initiate it. But you're seeing something from Jordan Matthews. His strength is three-point shooting. That's the second time he took a challenge shot where he wasn't comfortable, and also with the shot clock coming down. So they're running him off the three-point line, which is good for BYU.
Gonzaga with their 8th turnover.
Keep an eye on Emery again. You've got 4 scorers out on the floor. Hawes can create his own shot. Mika.
BYU has done great defensively, generating those turnovers, but shooting just 31% from the floor offensively. Mika at the free throw line. Short. Mika just 2 of 9 from the floor. He's averaging 21 points per game this season. And now a hand check foul outside on Elijah Bryant. That's his first.
Difference in this game right now is Gonzaga shooting 60%, 54% from the field. So they're knocking down their shots. Again, for BYU, they're getting good looks. Mika, they moved him at the top of the key. I think these shots, they'll knock down in the second half. They haven't been clicking offensively consistently yet.
BYU just 1 for 7 from three-point.
Good patience by Williams-Goss, probing the defense, looking for any open opportunities.
Drew the double. Open man is Matthews. Good head fake. Tiptoed inside. Went for his own board. It's going to stay with Gonzaga. Good hustle. Nope. The referee had both arms pointing in different directions. He was actually pointing and saying it touched off Emery. It's Gonzaga basketball.
That's a whole Harlem Globetrotter referee move when you point both ways. Where's the scoring going to come from? Under pressure again. Now you have a full 30 seconds. Williams-Goss moves the offense. Shemek Karnowski, they can run the offense through him down at the low post.
Foul outside again. This time it's going to be on Nick Emery.
Well, that's the fifth time he did it. That's the first time they called it. I've been watching him just hacking, swiping at the ball. Playing good minutes, too, though.
But that's twice now in the last 2 possessions that BYU is fouling way outside the 3-point line. Emery went for the steal again. Another foul on Emery.
The BYU fans wouldn't want to hear it. That's a good call, though. But for Nick, he's just got to play solid defense now. He's just got to challenge his shot when they go up.
Emery will take a seat. The Zags now in the bonus, so Silas Melson shooting the 1-and-1. Melson this season, 87% free throw shooter. And this is a guy who, again, kind of one of those under the radar guys because of how deep the Zags are in their backcourt with Matthews and Nigel Williams-Goss. But Melson has shot nearly 40% from 3 this season and has been very effective running the point for the Zags.
All the parts fit. He plays well. He's not in competition with Williams-Goss. He's comfortable in his own skin, and they'd have chemistry on the court, off the court.
Lazy pass. Tilly, the Frenchman, picks it off. Goss nearly got it back. Tilly double pump, and he's fouled.
For Gonzaga fans, they're happy to see Tilly back on the floor. Just getting your money's worth.
Corbin Kaufusi, his second
defensive tackle. There
like he was going for a block punt there.
Get your money's worth. Get your money's worth.
How about Killian Tilly, AC, at the, or excuse me, Adrian, at the free throw line now.
That was a teammate of mine who won a championship.
Tilly, and a broadcast partner of mine. Tilly is a family of volleyball players. His dad is the 2-time Olympian and the coach of the French national team. And Tilly in practice, they say he's about a 40% shooter when he sets the ball like a volleyball player from 3-point.
Well, he's got an amazing family. I played in France. We talked about it last time when he was sitting out in Pepperdine. I played in Mulhouse, France, and then also in Monaco, one of the richest places in the world.
Did you get some of that dough?
When they paid you. It was iffy at times.
Tilly gets called for the block.
But Tilly's dad, Laurent, is the French national coach in volleyball. His brother won 2 national championships. Cal Irvine, volleyball, that's impressive.
And somehow Tilly has found his way onto the basketball court. Same court, I guess, just they take down the nets when you play. Tilly this season, as we mentioned, he's a freshman, missed his last 2 games with a high ankle sprain, but he's a guy that comes in and really keeps the team solid when Karnowski and Collins need to take breathers.
Well, he can play 3 positions on the floor. He can defend a 5-man. He can defend a small forward. He's long. Again, a lot like Melson, he doesn't strain the offense. When he's out, he gives them good minutes. Everyone just does their job. That's the buzzword now.
Yeah.
New England Patriots, just do your job. Look at the offensive patience.
Nelson, tough shot. Tilly over the back of Gwynn. Gets called for the foul with under a minute to play here in the first half.
I'll take that all day long with your big guy. Not picking up a cheap foul. You're going for a rebound. I like my big guys. If you're going to pick up a foul, pick it up from rebound, blocking shots, doing the dirty work.
Now both teams in the bonus, so that will send Davin Gwynn, the junior from Murrieta, California, to the free throw line. And Gwynn is a transfer in his own right from UC Riverside, where he played as a freshman. And he's a gunner, although doesn't average a ton of points. He gets out there, and he's a quick shooter.
This will help give him some momentum. You can get some easy baskets with the clock stopped. Notice also, Eric Mika was wearing 00. First time before he served in his mission. Now he's come back and wearing number 12. Also married. His wife is a cheerleader.
His wife Gabby is a cheerleader, and Eric Mika is about 6'10". I think Gabby's about 5'1".
Tell the truth, you were betting on it. Say, I bet you she's one of the taller ones.
Yes, that's true. I thought, you know, proportionately, I thought maybe he was dating one of the taller cheerleaders. Excuse me, married to one of the taller cheerleaders.
Probably 5'1".
Yep. And she was great, waving to us and
a little sweetheart.
Getting some camera time before the game.
What a wonderful young lady.
As Williams-Goss probing at the free throw line, leans in, tough shot for Williams-Goss.
He is one of the 5 best point guard decision makers in college. He has mastered the game at the college level with his ability to make decisions for his team.
He decided to get his 9th point of the night on that last possession. Mika underneath, muscles it up and in.
Good matchup. Zach Collins also is on a lot of NBA lists because of his ability at 7 feet to run the floor and defend.
Final 10 seconds of the first half. Gonzaga, commanding performance on the road so far against BYU. Williams-Goss, 1 to shoot, has to get rid of it. And too late. Collins couldn't pull the trigger. Williams-Goss kept it for too long. But the Zags lead BYU 42-26, and it's halftime here in Provo. Let's send it to Adnan, Kara, Jeff for the Land Rover Report. Guys? The #1 team in the nation showing no sign of slowing down, up 42-26 on the road at BYU. 19,000 fans at the Marriott Center here in Provo, Utah. Haven't sat down in this one, but Adrian Branch, Eric Rothman here with you. Adrian, for Gonzaga, really an all-around performance in that first half, especially their three-point shooting and distributing the basketball.
Yeah, they've done their job. Coming into this game, they shoot with over 7 players that average over 8 points a game, but they were knocking down timely baskets. Look at 1 pass, 2 passes, and then knocking down a shot from Perkins, undeterred. And then keep the floor space, passing up a good shot for a great shot. Timely baskets, sharing the basketball. And when you're able to make shots, that also helps you on the defensive end. They've been consistent for the first 20 minutes. Let's see and anticipate if they can get off to a fast start again in the second half.
Gonzaga shot 6 for 10 from three-point range in that first half. BYU just 1 for 7. And then how about the defensive effort by Gonzaga, holding a sharp-shooting BYU team to just 32% from the floor?
I would say it's both. I would say the defense was there, but also those were makeable shots by BYU. In fact, they've had 4 more shot attempts. You'll take that. Now they've got to throw caution to the wind and electrify this 20,000 sold-out crowd by making shots.
10 assists on 20 made field goals in the first half for Gonzaga as TJ Hawes comes out and a quick spark to start the second half.
That's what you need. He was 2 for 6, only 6 points. You need to get off to a fast start.
Karnowski, who is effective at passing from the high post. We haven't seen him do it all game, though.
Coach Few talked about that. Kelly Olynyk, Sabonis was a good passer, and now they run the offense through their big in Karnowski.
Perkins and Williams-Goss, the leading scorers in the game with 9 points. TJ Hawes not far behind for BYU with 8. And it's a quick turnover for the Zags. That was maybe the one downfall of the first half for the Zags, was the amount of turnovers they had. That's number 9.
Well, that was because of good defense. BYU was not able to pay that off by making shots. They were 1 for 7 from the three-point line. They average over 80 points a game.
William Childs off the mark, scratching his head. There's a whistle on the loose ball. Will go against the Zags. Jonathan Williams, the push. And Adrian, you mentioned the potent scoring capabilities of this BYU team. They were held to 26 points in that first half, their lowest first half total of the season. Emery clanks it off the top of the backboard. Matthews, transition 3. Williams fights for the offensive rebound and an and-one opportunity.
Jonathan Williams has shown me something in this game. You don't have to run an offense for him. 6'8", 230 pounds, left-handed, in traffic, brings the noise, brings the enthusiasm, brings the toughness.
We've done a few Gonzaga games together. This is the most energy I've seen out of him this season.
And they need it. They need it. So now Karnowski has not been scoring. Williams has been knocking down some putbacks. Total team effort.
7 rebounds for Eric Mika after Jonathan Williams missed free throw.
Good floor spacing on the offense. Tough shots, good floor spacing.
Loose ball. Mika, Karnowski in the scrum. It's a lot of body down there.
Shimmick went down in sections. First the knees, then the hips, then the back. That's a big man. That's the only thing I was ever afraid of when I played. If a giant like him landed on me. I was only 185 pounds. That big tree landing on you, he could hurt something.
You'll be icing yourself for days.
No, he could hurt something.
Possession arrow in favor of the Zags after the held ball. Perkins had 3 3-pointers in the first half. Lost his footing on that one.
Good patience, using 3 and 4 sides of the floor.
6 on the shot clock. Karnowski fading away. Williams, offensive rebound, and he got fouled again. Yoli Childs called for his second personal.
There has been no answer for Jonathan Williams. The missed shot has been his best friend. I don't think there was a lot of contact on that one. But now with Williams getting to the free throw line, he can't be Dennis Rodman. All rebounds. He's got to be able to get down here and knock down his free throw.
64% free throw shooter on the year. And Williams tonight just 2 of 6 from the charity stripe. But he has wrapped up 3 offensive rebounds, 6 rebounds total. And almost at his season scoring average with 8 points on the evening as well.
And I look at it, are they cosmetic rebounds? You know, when it's late in the game and you're at the free throw line, you come out with 10 rebounds. Did you get meaningful rebounds? Second chance opportunities. He's done that.
He's fighting for every single one. Perkins got behind Mika for the steal. Long pass, and Bryant intercepts the lob.
Coach Rose said that Hawes could be a point guard. If L.J. Rose was not out there, he could be the point guard. Right now, he's running the show from the point.
With L.J. Rose on the bench, we've seen Hawes play point guard tonight.
Schmidt coming out.
5 on the shot clock. Mika leaning in, friendly bounce off the back of the iron.
He's got touch. He can go up through traffic like he did and knock down a soft shot. Now, he just had a flop. He just had a flop. That was a good steal.
Emery the steal. Hawes, quick trigger on the 3. Hawes igniting the crowd. 19,000 on their feet. Gonzaga takes a timeout. Emery, the steal on the 7-footer. Shemek didn't see him. Up ahead to Hawes. And the Cougars trying to get some momentum, down by 12. Just before the break, cutting into the Zags lead as the Cougars trying to make a charge here early in the second half. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you, and that's first half stats versus what's gone on so far in the second. And a quick start, Adrian, for BYU. 3 for their first 6 in this half.
And their main scores, Mika scored, Hawes has scored. Momentum favors BYU now.
Gonzaga's also turned the ball over 3 times already in the second half. Hawes the circus shot, and a foul on the loose ball will go against Shemek Karnowski. It's his second.
Eric Mika has to use his quickness. He can't allow himself to be guarded on the low block, and also when you're blocking him out, he can't allow Karnowski to get that big body into him, because if he gets that body into you, you're not going anywhere. He has to be mobile and use that quickness.
Mika sneaking up on a double-double, 10.7 rebounds, but struggled finding his shot, just 4 of 11.
Hawes has a nice flow to his game.
And he'll go to the free throw line. Perkins called for the foul.
We're seeing him mix up his offense now. He's given his own Williams-Goss imitation. Knocking down a 3-point shot, getting inside the lane, making himself a tough check for a good defensive unit.
Perkins picking up his 3rd foul early on in the second half, so he will have to take a seat. And the Zags have relied on him, especially in the first half, hitting half of the team's 6 3-point field goals. And he's one of those leaders on this team that they'll miss if he has to sit out with foul trouble.
Well, even in the first half, we talked about it for BYU. They have 4 more shot opportunities. You hear the crowd going off now. The difference in this half is they're making their shots, and they're holding the Zags to one and done.
7-0 run for the Cougars. Williams-Goss. Short. Matthews, the offensive rebound. High off the glass, got his own board, missed the third chance. Hawes, shake and bake for three. And a loose ball foul against the Zags again.
If you never knew basketball 101, that's his third foul for Williams. But the team that plays the hardest and having the most fun is usually the team that's winning. Now there's been a scoring drought for Gonzaga. BYU is taking advantage of these opportunities. The second chance, first to the floor, the 50-50 balls.
And now Williams and Perkins, the two biggest offensive producers, all-around offensive producers for Gonzaga in that first half, both on the bench with 3 fouls, but now a mental error for BYU as the sophomore Elijah Bryant couldn't get it in within 5 seconds.
This is the first time we're seeing Karnowski and Collins playing big to big. Usually Williams-Goss is the calming effect for him. Whoa, that's coming to us.
Aaron pass. Another turnover on Gonzaga. They're 12th.
Hey, Shimmick, I'm retired. I'd love to catch it and shoot it, but I can't do anything with it, man.
Gonzaga shooting themselves in the foot early on in the second half.
Hawes has been a difference maker for himself and his teammate. Good pass.
No look to Mika, and Mika will go to the free throw line.
All of a sudden, T.J. Hawes has cracked the code defensively. He's getting inside the paint. He's creating havoc. He's getting easy shots for himself and his teammates. And now he and Mika have been doing the damage on the offensive end.
How does Gonzaga get Hawes off rhythm?
One, you've got to run at him. You've got to get him out of scoring position, which is from the three-point line and in. But you cannot allow him to break down the defense a lot like Nigel Williams-Goss does for his team. So you've got to run at him. They might even have to go to a zone just to slow them down. This is a new game now.
Mika now with a dozen. It's a single-digit lead for the Zags.
BYU, welcome to the party, going against the #1 team in the nation.
9-0 run for the Cougars. Karnowski with the left. Spins around 360 on the rim and dumps in.
Fans are standing on their feet now with excitement.
Block underneath. Here comes Melson. Gonzaga not wasting any time. The up and under for Williams-Goss.
Veteran team. There was a bend, but don't break. They were able to get huge baskets to give themselves some distance on the lead.
BYU beats the trap. Yoli Childs nowhere to go. Matthews, corner three.
That foul. Let him play through it.
Good rebound by Bryant.
Excellent job by BYU. Getting dirty, aggressive, attacking. And that's an and one. Good drive.
Three-point play opportunity for Elijah Bryant. Gonzaga underneath on defense. Collins with the swat on Hawes. And then the run out. Kick out to Nigel Williams-Goss. The drive and the finish. BYU comes right back. Elijah Bryant, the sophomore, makes it a 10-point game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Zales. Celebrate your lasting love with gifts from Zales, the Diamond Store.
Nearly 5 minutes into the second half, BYU has come alive, now down by 10 to #1 Gonzaga. Adrian Branch, T.J. Hawes has put the team on his back for the Cougars here in the second.
He's been perpetual motion. This started it off in the second half, knocking down that shot early on. And then look at that, the no-look, 5 feet from the basket. The coaching staff says he always gives an amazing pass once a game, and then knocking down the shots. The three-pointer right there sends this crowd bananas. Look at the teammates. He's helped himself and his team and also created 12 turnovers, which is working on a season high for the last 5 games for Gonzaga.
You mentioned those turnovers for the Zags. The Zags also 0 for 4 from three-point range in the second half. They were 6 for 10 in the first half. Anything different?
Yeah, they turned the tables. Remember, they were knocking down those same shots. Now, they still have a 10-point lead or 9-point lead, which is only 3 baskets for BYU shooting 3-pointers. This is a new game.
And Gonzaga also dealing with foul trouble. Perkins, Karnowski, and Williams all with 3 fouls.
Look at the active hands, being feisty. Got to knock down a clutch shot because they're getting out and running. Good job by BYU again the last 3 minutes.
Gonzaga led by as many as 19 points. Bryant double team.
Good ball movement. Excellent ball movement.
Give and go, and Williams-Goss read it perfectly. Here comes Nigel. Euro step up with the left and one.
That hurt. That hurt with BYU because that stopped the momentum, and that could possibly be a 5-point swing. Right there, the steal, the active hands, and then Williams-Goss, one of the best in the nation at making the right decision. Again with a foul. Ah, that's a heartbreaker, stopping the momentum.
13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Nigel Williams-Goss, make it 14.
The body control by Williams-Goss. Remember, he's been a 3-time Player of the Week. He and Eric Mika, and both of them doing their job. But TJ Haas has been the leader, the damage control, the wrecking machine in the second half.
They keep double teaming Mika underneath, leaving the perimeter open, or at least one man open for BYU.
This is his strength, driving and kicking.
Adam Gwynn off the bench, only averaging 2 points per game this season, missing the field goal.
I like Bryant as well. Bryant is an excellent offensive piece for BYU.
Williams spinning. Hand check foul up top. Foul on LJ Rose. It's his first.
Tilly came in, gave him some good, meaningful minutes right before the half. This is the kind of game where he can run a transition. It's an open floor game.
Williams-Goss spinning up with the right, great touch.
Watch Bryant. I like that 2-man game with Bryant passing it to Mika.
Mika, although he's got 12 points, he's just 4 of 12 from the floor. Perkins, good handle. Draws the double and finds Collins.
First shot attempt in that game, but defensively, Collins has been there with the block shot.
Mika tried to go to his right. 3-on-1. Williams-Goss slows up, easy finger roll, and all of a sudden it's back out to a 16-point Gonzaga lead.
If there's a missed opportunity, that's just like a turnover because you get a live ball run out, and Williams-Goss is taking advantage of those opportunities. Watch this with Collins challenging Mika at the rim. Good job by a 7-footer coming off the bench. And then the runoff. Nigel Williams-Goss in double figures, doing his best to lead his team. And then he's letting the 20,000 know, yeah, I'm here. I got staying power.
Williams-Goss, the leading scorer, with 18 points in this game. Start your Super Bowl Sunday with our next NBA Sunday Showcase game presented by Verizon Go 90. It's Blake Griffin and the Clippers in Boston to take on Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics at 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific on ABC. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown, Sage and Jalen, presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 1:30, is streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Nigel Williams-Goss, he has the last 9 points for Gonzaga. They're up by 16. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you. And we saw TJ Haas for a moment take over for the Cougars, and now tables have turned, and Williams-Goss taking over for the Zags.
Well, there's still a lot of time. It's 13 minutes in this game. BYU has been enlivened at the offensive end. He can knock down that shot. Brian has shown me something as well. Transfer from Elon.
Williams-Goss, 11 straight points.
Frank Mason Jr., Nigel Williams-Goss. These guys are so good at decision-making. Melo Trimble from Maryland. Excellent decision-makers.
Can't go a game without getting a Turk in there. Davin Gwynn in the corner. And maybe BYU can start another run now.
Well, they got to make some stops, consecutive stops. Gonzaga has the mindset that they can't be guarded. Now you're seeing a 1-3-1, and when they go to the zone, careless turnover. That was a tired turnover.
Gwynn, the steal. Back-to-back buckets for Davin Gwynn. Only averages 2 points per game on the season. 5 in a row.
Mark Few, remember he said there's going to be a guy that you don't have the scout report that comes in and gives them a quick lift and sits back down.
Gonzaga nearly turning it over again. Good perimeter defense by BYU. Perkins off his foot, tripped up. Williams-Goss in the corner. Rattles out. Collins, offensive rebound, swatted by L.J. Rose.
Collins is learning on the offensive end. He hasn't been there defensively. He's been there for his team, but he's learning in this game.
And Hawes will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Back and forth battle in the second half. The Zags holding off the Cougs, up by 13. And Nigel Williams-Goss rattled off 11 points in a row. Adrian, what makes him so good in these clutch moments?
His decision-making. He's always moving forward. His ability to read when to call his own number when the team needs him to make shots like that. Again, I've said for the last 2 weeks, I think he has mastered the game at the college level with his ability with when. A point guard has to know when to pass it, when to shoot it, when to pull back. He has mastered the win at the college level.
11 straight and 20 total for the former McDonald's All-American at a Happy Valley, Oregon. Transfer from Washington, now a redshirt junior. And Coach Few just talks about he's just a student of the game. He wants you to coach him. He wants you to sit down, watch tape with him. He wants to constantly be learning the game of basketball.
The best leader he's ever had. And that says a lot when he's had players like Dan Dickow, one of my good buddies who's played for many years in the NBA. Pangos.
And we've got popcorn on the floor. Get your popcorn ready. Is that caramel corn or popcorn?
It's a little caramel-y. Caramel-ish.
Like it's got a glaze, right? Maybe some kettle corn.
It's a little big. You like popcorn?
I love popcorn. Listen, if you're going to sit in the front row, though,
popcorn.
If you're going to sit in the front row, though, you got to be aware of your snacks.
I like pork rinds. No, I'm teasing. I grew up on pork rinds, but I like popcorn. It's healthier.
Well, the popcorn spillage slows down the 7-0 run for BYU. It's Gonzaga basketball. Nigel Williams-Goss leading the way with 20 points.
BYU's done a wonderful job of cutting into this lead. They're down by 11. Again, they're a three-point shooting team, so that's only 4 possessions. They've got to make some stops. Let's see by the 10-minute mark if they can get this under 9, under double digits. They'll have good momentum. Coach Rose saying that's what he wanted to do.
And look at Nigel Williams-Goss. He's grabbing the mop.
Psychology major.
It's true. He literally does everything.
Coach says that he talks, he communicates, he wants to be coached.
And he does janitorial work. 3.8 GPA and wants to be a academic All-American, a huge goal of his.
And he's already setting himself up to be an All-American right now. #1 team in the nation. He and Eric Meeker right now, to me, are the hands-down favorite for Conference Player of the Year. Lamont Murray Jr. also should be a first-team conference WCC All-Conference performer.
And Big Jock out of St. Mary's.
Landale.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Provo.
Active zone, still time on the clock with patience.
Perkins in the corner, fouled from beyond the arc.
2 possessions where you say, wow, a punch in the gut. You don't want to foul a three-point shooter or a jump shooter when the defense was moving so well and when Williams-Goss had that and one. That's a bad foul right there.
Corbin Kafusi.
But he couldn't throw on the brakes. He's a defensive tackle, folks. Give him a break.
Played the first half of the season, missed the first half of the basketball season, playing for the Cougars football team, and his dad is a defensive line coach. And rushing the passer, except the passer in this case was Josh Perkins from the three-point arc.
There's a Kafusi that's playing in the NFL now.
Yes, his brother Bronson for the Ravens. Eric Mika is back in. Kafusi will take a seat with those 3 fouls. Fouls becoming an issue, Adrian, for Gonzaga. Perkins, Collins, Williams, Karnowski, all with 3.
Well, again, remember, BYU, second in the conference at points, right behind Gonzaga, 90% win percentage. This is the first time in their storied history since 1971 that a #1 team in the nation has come to this place.
Absolutely.
That's surprising to me.
They packed the house to welcome the Zags.
They throw a party. They throw a party.
Students were out camping out in tents outside the Marriott Center since Monday. Collins got a piece of that Mika field goal.
Zach Collins averaged 10 points a game, but his defense has been there for his teammates. Let's see if they can give him a touch. Reward the big guy for his defensive effort. There you go.
Dump off Collins, his first bucket of the game.
It makes an easy shot for the young pup. He's been blocking shots, rebounding. Now that'll help him. He's moving with more confidence, checking the All-American candidate.
Oh, it's pulled up 10 feet. Mika, offensive rebound until he fouled him.
You take that from Tilly, their 4th big versus Collins. Now Collins quietly is putting together a good game defensively. This is a good matchup with the body type. He's mobile, meeting him 7-footer, and then running the floor. The point guards knowing that their big guy hadn't gotten going, finishing with a slam dunk. Defense to offense.
And now Tilly, after that personal, is the 5th Gonzaga Bulldog with 3 fouls. So he will take a seat. Jonathan Williams also with 3 fouls. Checks back in for the Zags. And Eric Mika at the line with his 12 points for the Cougars.
Dave Rose saying that they have so much depth. You just sub 6'8" for 6'11", 7-footer off the bench. Their 8th, 9th, and 10th man could be starters for everyone else in the conference. Good patience against an active 2-3 zone.
Williams-Goss swings it through. 6 on the shot clock. Nelson alone. Williams fights for the offensive rebound. And he got fouled. The 4th offensive rebound of the night for Jonathan Williams.
That was textbook. Good defense by BYU, making Gonzaga use 5 and 6 sides of the floor when you turn it over from the 3-point line. Oh, falling asleep on the offensive end.
Williams-Goss going over Eric Mika, and Williams-Goss now with 22.
Well, that was a quick breakdown because they thought they were in a 2-3 zone, and Emery was going up to the 3-point line.
64-48, under 10 minutes to play now, and the 19,000 strong here at the Marriott Center have gotten very quiet.
Bryant has been able to get some mileage inside the paint for himself, for Hawes, or for Mika.
7 on the shot clock, and Elijah Bryant will go to the free throw line. And Bryant, Adrian, I know is a guy you mentioned, he's impressed you tonight. Missed 10 games with a reoccurring knee injury, just his 8th game back. What do you like about him?
Just what we just saw, his ability. He's strong, 6'6", 230 pounds, able to get inside against a very good defense and reward that effort by getting to the free throw line. Also, he shoots a nice 3-pointer. He's missed it a couple times, but I like the rotation. I like the form. There's no hitch in his shot. He's a glue guy, a solid defender. He was a conference rookie of the year for Elon.
And listen, he was a guy who sprouted late because as a freshman in high school, he was just 5'7", and now he's 6'5". A big reason why he had to go to Elon first. Kind of had that growing pains, getting to know his body a little bit, and then comes back to BYU.
This is just what Gonzaga practiced against a zone that's going to be active hands, trying to run them off their spot, and they haven't turned it over the last 3 possessions.
Nelson rejected out of bounds by Emery. 4 on the shot clock. They've got Karnowski back in there with those 3 fouls.
Nick Emery did a solid job. Now they can't fall asleep. Good job by Emery contesting the shot. Can't fall asleep on the out-of-bounds play now.
And Emery's still aggressive, even though he has 3 fouls.
Well, he's made the adjustment, too, because he was dealing with flu symptoms. He's had an uneven practice this week, but you can see the game emotion taking over now.
Yoli Childs back in for the Cougars. Good pass underneath. Nelson can't finish. Nelson screaming for a whistle that he did not get.
Watch Bryant. I like him with right hand dominant, going to the lane. Good shot for Emery there.
And a tie-up underneath as Karnowski and Yoli Childs fighting for it. BYU has the possession arrow. Emery in the limited minutes tonight with that flu. Just 16 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 4 shooting.
I'm going to be excited for Yoli to check back in the next couple years to see how his game evolves. Right now he's raw. Everything is a second chance opportunity. But Childs has an opportunity to be an all-conference performer.
Well, he's kind of been thrust into the limelight as Bryant pulls up for 3. Yoli Childs starting the last 17 games after senior Kyle Davis went down with a season-ending injury. They were hoping that Yoli Childs would be mentored by Kyle Davis throughout the course of the year, but now Childs, the freshman, having to come in and pick up significant minutes and play as a starter with Davis out. And now the foul underneath on Eric Mika sends Karnowski to the line with Gonzaga in the bonus.
Gonzaga has shown me something. This is the toughest game they've had in a while. This is not Cupcake City when you're coming to BYU, who wins 90% of their games. They've been able to withstand the environment. They've been able to withstand Mika and Hall so far. They've got 8 minutes left. Nothing's a gimme. But they have shown a resilience and not a glass jaw as a champion so far. #1 team in the nation.
On average, Gonzaga has beaten conference opponents by over 25 points per game. As Emery is still cold. Nelson taking it himself, hesitating in the air, and he's fouled by Emery. Nick Emery's 4th personal of the night.
Nick is a tough customer. He'll come up there and contest the shot, get a hard foul. Now this is a strong drive. Good call. They get their money's worth. Only one I wouldn't want to get fouled by is Kafasi.
Big boy. So Nelson at the line. BYU has missed their last 5 field goals. And only thing I'm sure Gonzaga will be practicing tomorrow after they fly back to Spokane is their free throw shooting. 65% from the line, leaving 7 points out there.
What happens, you speed yourself up, having to match the intensity. When you get to the offensive end, you've got to slow yourself down, especially at the free throw line.
Nelson hits the back end. He has 6 points.
Know where the scores are with this unit. Mika can score. TJ Halls can score. And that's the strength of Yoli right in the lane.
Good feed inside to Childs, and Williams-Goss is called for his first.
Now, one thing about Yoli Childs, he's built for contact. So he doesn't go to the three-point line and wander out and shoot three-pointers. He looks for contact. He looks for that second chance opportunity. Has a great second jump.
And on the defensive end, Adrian, he goes for the block. He's had at least 1 block in 19 of his 22 games played this season. Excuse me, 23 games played this season. He's 3rd all-time amongst freshmen in BYU history in terms of blocking in his rookie year.
Yeah, he's a natural power forward. You don't have to invite him to the party. He goes and looks for it. The contact, the intensity. It's a good matchup with he and Williams. Watch for a lob. They were practicing against the zone for Williams on the back line with a lob.
Karnowski calling for it. BYU back in the zone. Perkins from way downtown. Williams saves it into the hands of Childs. Pause. Quick trigger. Drains the 3. TJ Hawes now has 18 points.
You have to tag the shooter, especially Hawes, in transition.
11-point game now. Gonzaga leading by as many as 19 in the first half. Karnowski falls to the ground and he traveled.
You've got to go up. Once you get that momentum going, that 300 pounds going to your right, got to go up with the shot.
Energy in the Marriott Center. BYU has made it an 11-point game against the #1 Gonzaga Bulldogs. Undefeated and up by 11 on the road. Gonzaga on top of BYU under 7.5 minutes to play here in regulation. Around the West Coast Conference tonight, San Diego falling to LMU. Santa Clara defeating Portland. San Francisco a big win over Pepperdine. And on ESPNU right now with a little over 3 minutes to play, St. Mary's getting testy with Pacific on the road. Updated standings for the conference as well. Of course, Gonzaga top dogs at 10-0. St. Mary's not far behind BYU, and Santa Clara fighting it out for that 3rd and 4th position. And St. Mary's, boy, what a tough loss that would be to Pacific, who is 2-8 in the conference.
I like what Damon Stoudemire is doing with his team. He opens it up. They run NBA sets. He has his guys responsible for reading the defense. They're going to be a problem in the WCC.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you in Provo, Utah. TJ Haws, he's been hot, and he stays that way.
Making it a game, and it is a zoo in this place after Haws makes a shot.
Matthews, pump fake, nothing there. 6-0 run for BYU. Haws has 21. Williams, Goss from the parking lot, lips out, and Haws the rebound.
Now you're going to have to double team him because he lights it up from there.
Tried to lean in for a foul, didn't get the whistle.
Good job by Perkins. You can cheat off of LJ Rose. He hadn't shown that he knocks down a three-pointer consistently. But Haws, you got to give respect and get to him.
Karnowski inside Williams, back to the rim, turns around, and the easy up and in.
You're seeing Shimmick Karnowski with his ability to make the right play at the right time. The 5th-year senior running the offense when they give it to him at the high post.
Momentarily a single-digit lead for just the 2nd time in this half. But Gonzaga, quick answer, up by 10 now, under 6 minutes to play.
Good job of not cheating off it. That's a good job. Williams Goss not cheating, playing one-on-one, making Rose hit a tough shot.
Williams Goss attacking the leaner for Williams Goss, who's got 24. And now a timeout on the floor taken by BYU.
What a proud performance. Is that record still intact for Gonzaga, where they've led for the last
it is.
11 quarters? Taking advantage of opportunities. There was a breakdown in the defense, and that's the 2nd time that Williams Goss has caught the defense at a vulnerable state.
12 halves and counting without trailing. Gonzaga is up by 12. We remind you that Saturday we'll have an ACC, SEC college hoop double dip on ESPN. Number 20, Notre Dame, and number 12, North Carolina from the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then number 8, Kentucky, and number 24, Florida from Gainesville in our Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T.
If you bring this to the table, you can play for me anytime. If you play hard, you play smart, and you're not afraid, you can play for me. Both teams, these 10 players out here, are bringing it. BYU does not have the same depth or weaponry, but they've represented themselves very well, especially in the 2nd half.
Mika underneath, and a foul before the shot will be on Shimmick Karnowski. That's his 4th.
But what is the little guy just gets underneath you, and you're like, look out, little man. You know who used to do that in the state of Utah? The Hall of Famer, John Stockton. He'd get underneath you, and every big in the NBA would say he'd get away with so many things. And that was one of those things where it just gets underneath the big guy.
Well, not only did he do it for the Jazz, he did it for the Zags as well. And we look at the foul issues for Gonzaga as Karnowski takes a seat. He's got 4. Collins, Perkins, Tilly, Williams, all with 3. And Haws at the charity stripe. He's perfect 7 for 7 so far with 22 points total.
Look what Coach Few quietly did. He just substituted 7'1" for 7 feet, 6'8" for 6'10". So you've got size, and Collins has done a nice job, solid defense. Tilly can make a good pass from the high post where Karnowski was.
Tilly throws it up, lost it going up. Mika the rebound, and he's got a double-double now with 13 points and 10 boards.
Well, that slipped out of his hand. You've got to double-team Hawes now. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Under 5 minutes to play in regulation, Adrian.
This is where you go to your strength. Eric Mika, Bryant right there on the drive. That's his strength.
Count it. Bucket is good as Bryant gets the contact and the whistle.
You and I have the best seat in the house. We're seeing everything now. We talked about if you play hard, you play smart, you're not afraid of the moment. You're seeing Bryant with that drive. And now you're seeing both coaches with strategy, trying to keep them off balance. Mark Few is coaching on the sideline. You see Coach Rose as well trying to make this adjustment. Both teams are letting everything hang out right now.
Perkins takes a seat with his 4th foul. So Perkins and Karnowski both out of the game with foul trouble.
Nigel Williams-Goss is the maestro. He controls the offense with his decision-making.
And he drains the 3 to quiet the crowd yet again. Williams-Goss has been the answer.
What would you say? What would you say? But now, get back to work. Because Bryant, I like him with his ability to break down the defense and get inside the lane for a high percentage shot. Also, Eric Mika can score from 15 feet and in.
Bryant with the left, Tilly the rebound. Williams-Goss, the silencer, he's got 27 points now.
Collins has to go straight up on the jump hook.
And he does, but off the heel of the rim and rebounded by BYU. 7th rebound for Yoli Childs.
Who can execute now under 3 minutes and 50 seconds? Coming home. Who can bring it home through execution?
Childs the seal and goes over the help side Collins.
Childs is growing up before your very eyes now. It's under double digits. 3 possessions for a 3-point shooting team.
Matthews leans in, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3. Mika picks up his 3rd foul under 3.5 minutes to play in regulation.
How crafty was that pass? And then Goss calming down an unstable situation. He has been so consistent. But then look at the answer for young Childs, a freshman. Are you kidding me? He's playing against the #1 team in the nation, folks.
Digit lead for the #1 undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs. And there's Eric Mika's wife and cheerleader Gabby leading the charge, and the crowd chants during the break as her husband has a double-double here in this one. BYU still trailing. And Jordan Matthews at the free throw line as we come back to action for the Zags.
They are on fire in this place. I feel like I've played 35 minutes with the intensity and the electricity that's in this building.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you in Provo, Utah. Gonzaga has led all game long. They've led for over 255 straight minutes of play as Matthews shooting into a sea of white behind the basket.
Can't run and hide and give a soft performance at the free throw line. You set the standard for yourself as being an outstanding shooter, so you've got to knock down some money shots.
Matthews just 2 of 10 from the floor as well. Really struggled to find his shot tonight.
It's about defensive execution if you're Gonzaga right now, and it's about the offense. Getting a high percentage shot if you're the Zags. That's a good pass.
Backdoor cut, Hawes blocked by Tilly and a whistle. Hawes will go back to the free throw line where he's perfect, 8 of 8 tonight.
The good players are going to make good plays. That looked like that was a good block in traffic. But because Hawes plays so hard and it always moving forward, he's able to get to the free throw line.
Tilly called for his 4th foul, and now 3 players for the Zags with 4 personals. Tilly, Karnowski, and Perkins.
For BYU, when they look at this tape, the game's not over, of course. They've had opportunities to close the lead more. At the free throw line, they've left some points on the floor, and then at the 3-point line as well. But this young man in the second half has done his job.
It's the back end as Perkins and Karnowski each with 4 fouls are back in the game for the Zags. Nearing the 3-minute mark here in a West Coast Conference battle at the Marriott Center in Provo.
The value of 2 point guards, Perkins, point guard, Williams-Goss. That's decision making with 2 point guards.
Williams-Goss nearing 30 points. He's got 29 total on 12 of 17 shooting.
You've got 3 coaches, Mark Few on the sidelines, and your 2 ball handlers in Perkins and Williams-Goss making quality decisions.
Bryant dump off to Childs. 3-point chance coming for Yoli Childs.
I like this young man. The more I see Yoli, he has a one-track mind about going to the basket and making something happen. Strong drive, and then bailing out your point guard in traffic. There's 3 jerseys around. I don't know if he recognizes what he's doing right now.
Well, Childs now with 11 points, and Collins now with 4 fouls. The Zags have 4 players with 4 personals. It's back to a single-digit lead for the Zags.
Can the Cougars make a stop and try to close into this lead?
Williams-Goss doing it himself. Tried to go off the backboard. Childs the rebound, his 8th.
That's the stop they wanted. Now you've got shooting, but you don't have to take a bad shot or a forced shot. Trust the offense.
Mika's calling for it one-on-one against Karnowski. Drives baseline and wins the battle. 6-point game under 2 minutes to play. Gonzaga led by as many as 19.
Seconds left on the shot clock. Can you get a high percentage shot?
Perkins tough. Karnowski offensive rebound and a reset of the shot clock.
Good decision by Shimmick to pull the shot clock out, to pull the ball out. Folks, you're seeing high-level basketball right here now.
And now Williams-Goss is fouled, trying to turn the corner. Elijah Bryant whistled.
It's so intense that I don't know if I want to put on my player hat or my analyst hat, because you're seeing everything right now. You're seeing BYU imploring the crowd. You're seeing Yoli Childs saying, come on, guys, make some noise. This is an excellent game right now. And now they've got the feel for Gonzaga's defense as well. They can come down, and they're not uncomfortable scoring in a hurry or taking a quick open 3-pointer.
And now Williams-Goss, 31 points on the night.
And they've needed every one, and he might not be through. Got to go quickly, though, if you're BYU.
Efficient 12 of 18 shooting as well for Williams-Goss. Emery leans in, wanted a foul. Bryant, offensive board, went straight back up with it. Mika, the 3rd chance. Collins, a rebound for the Zags, and a foul.
Length, the value of length, close to the basket. That was just a missed opportunity by BYU. That was a good shot, 2nd effort. But then Collins, who's not gotten to his average of 10 points a game, but he's done other things in this game. He's played like a 7-footer on the defensive end. He's gotten rebounds in traffic. Now can he hit a free throw in the clutch? 6
rebounds, only 2 points. And the freshman at the line.
Can't teach hard, folks. Can't teach hard. Huge shot, swish. Now for BYU, you got to get the ball to Bryant. You got to get up there quickly. Emery can shoot it quickly. Hawes can shoot the 3-pointer quickly. Got to go quick, though.
10-point game, a minute to go here in Provo.
Got to go even faster than you're going right now.
The fans here at the Marriott Center groaning with how much time this possession has taken so far. Hawes throws it up wildly, and the Zags control it.
Now, will BYU foul? You got to foul. You can't let them run down the clock. If you want to get another possession, you've got to foul. Taking too long to foul. Too much time ran off the clock for BYU with the indecision.
So now Williams-Goss will go back to the line.
How about the crowd performance by both teams? This was the closest margin they've had, I believe, for Gonzaga in a month or two. And then for BYU to get this game to 6 points. This was outstanding, a great effort, and they set the bar for themselves for the rest of the season.
Williams-Goss now 33, and it just seems like Gonzaga always has an answer.
Well, the value of 2 point guards in Perkins and Williams-Goss in the decision making. Everyone's done their job.
And now a whistle underneath.
I think this is an opportunity for Gonzaga. They've shown themselves something where they knew this was not going to be an easy game. When they came out here, the atmosphere amazing. BYU came out and did their job, especially in the second half, and made it a very competitive game. But you see Coach Few going down the line, congratulating his players. He knew they put themselves in a position to earn their 23rd victory.
And it was when BYU was pressuring the Zags that Nigel Williams-Goss decided, you know what, I'm going to take more of an authoritative role here on the offensive end for the Zags.
Yeah, and I said he's one of the best decision makers. He's mastered the game of basketball at the college level because of his ability, his knack to read the defense, and his feel of the game has been outstanding on a college level.
Gonzaga next up will go home to Spokane on Saturday to play Santa Clara on ESPN2 as TJ Haws has 26 now. BYU will stay here to play Portland on Saturday. And timeout with under 12 seconds to play here in regulation.
Jonathan Williams was outstanding in the first half when the game mattered in traffic. Collins did an outstanding job above the rim, blocking shots and rebounding. And Big Shemek Karnowski, played a very good floor game.
Our next NBA Friday doubleheader starts with an old school rivalry. It's Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics hosting the Lakers at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then when that one's over, we'll send you to Portland for the Mavericks and the Trailblazers. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown charged by Mountain Dew at 7. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. And a win tonight, 23 straight wins for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. A school record, and maybe even more impressively, Adrian, now 13 straight halves, 264 minutes of basketball that the Gonzaga Bulldogs have not trailed.
That's amazing. Now, all of that as well for BYU, what do they have left? They've shown Haws is a player. Mika is a player. Yoli Childs is going to be something special. They've set the bar for themselves going against the #1 team in the country. They don't have the same depth or the same weaponry, but this could be a carryover effect. We're not talking about, what do you call those wins when you don't win
a moral victory?
Yeah, moral victory. I'm not saying that's a moral victory, but they've set a high standard for themselves the way they came out and compete and took on the challenge.
McEmery, tough night for him, battling the flu. I know he wants another crack at the Bulldogs, and he'll get it on the road on February 25th. And Collins will go back to the free throw line.
So also with BYU, they play well off of each other. Brian is solid. He's coming off a knee surgery in September, and where he is right now, with his ability to get into the lane, he didn't shoot the three-pointer that well, 1 for 6. But again, I look at it like this. Is my offense getting my team good shots? They were getting good shots in this game.
Unusually quiet night for Collins. Just didn't get it going offensively, but a credit to him as a freshman. Usually when you see freshmen who are young, haven't played on the big stage, they don't have a good offensive game, they fold. He didn't do that.
Right, he looked like a deer in headlights in the first half, but he allowed the offense to come to him. Now he's put together a solid offensive game to follow up what he did on the defensive side of the ball.
Final 5 seconds of this one. Haws still chucking it up. Gets another 3. And Haws with 29. And that'll do it. A 10-point victory for the undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs. School record, 23 wins in a row. 264 straight minutes without trailing in a basketball game. For Adrian Branch, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Provo. Your final score, Gonzaga 85, BYU 75. Now let's send it back to the studio for College Basketball Live.